Northernhay Street in Reservoir. My name is Robert Ozzimo. I proudly represent the company of Harcourts, Rata and Co. I'm joined here today by some of my award-winning colleagues in blue. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Michael Tomadakis and of course Emilia Faba and Michael Chitrola, who no doubt you've had the great pleasure of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. Guys, let me share with you the following announcements which are in place to help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that are available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property's been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in a very flexible 30 to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything is in here. Everything is quite clear. So buyers, it's with my highest recommendation what we offer for your consideration and competition here today. Hardly gets a better package than this, whether you're a first home buyer, an investor, small family, perhaps for the downsizer. Here in the heart of Reservoir in Northernhay Street, quite blessed with location, short stroll to absolutely everything that you need to secure capital growth, but more importantly, everything that you need to secure a premium lifestyle. Easy access to transport, shopping, parkland, all at your fingertips. The property itself immediately comfortable, absolutely nothing to do, plenty of space to grow into one of the larger units on the market at the moment. So great opportunity, as I said, for the first home buyer in the marketplace, a great opportunity perhaps for the downsizer. And if you're an investor, make sure you always invest in location, and that's what we offer in abundance here today. So buyers, the goal is to get the sold sticker on the board. If that is your goal, if you would like to be the one to unfurl the sticker and place it on the board, right now is your time to reserve that right. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for one at 34 Northernhay? Who'd like to start us off, buyers? I don't mind the call. I'm in your hands. Start me where you like. I did keep you waiting a little bit before we got proceedings started here today, so it's only fair that you keep me waiting a little bit now before we get up and running. But you've got the opportunity now to stake the play, to stake your claim, to mark your territory, to show every other potential competitor, every other potential buyer here today, the keys are yours to start from a position of strength. So if you'd like the opportunity to do that, buyers, right now is that time. I don't mind the call. I'm in your hands. Where can I see a start? I'm going to make it nice and easy for everyone here today, every potential party here today at 640,000 on the vendor bid, and bids with me at 640 against you all. At 640,000. At 640,000 now, fairly bidding offered at 640. Vendor bid at 640,000. At 640 the bid now. At 640,000. Bargain basement buying at that, should be a sea of hands at that level at 640 the bid. At 640,000, right at the bottom end of the range at 40. I've got 40, so 40 is the vendor bid. I'll take 50 on top. At 50 now, welcome and best of luck. At 650,000, the competition is here now. At 650 the bid. At 650,000, fairly been offered. 50 is 60 now. 660,000, welcome, best of luck. At 660,000, 70 if you like, and 70 with a nod of the head. At 670,000, 80 it's got to be. At 670 and the bid's here. At 670,000, can't buy it with one bid here today. 670 I have against your bid. Opportunity with you, but the bid's here at 80. Got now at 680 and 90 again. At 690,000, the quick retort at 90. At 690,000, fairly been offered. Bids back this side of the street. Opportunity on that side. At 690 and 700 beckons now. At 690,000. At 690,000, fairly been offered for the first call. At 700,000, even money, that at 710. Again, the quick retort at 710,000. At 710,000, at 710 the bid. At 710,000, I will take 5 because we are on the market and selling at 15 now. At 715,000, so this is where it counts. This is where you got to dig deep if you want to buy. We do sell here today. 20 got at 720,000. At 720 the bid. Make absolutely no mistake about it. We're on the market. We're selling. If you've come to buy, you must bid me now or forever hold your peace. At 720, the bid's there, the keys are there, we sell at 25 now. at 725 and 30, at 730,000. Can't buy like that, sir. Only like this is 730 now, at 730 the bid. At 730,000, if you've come to buy, you must show me now. There's no halftime break. I'm not going inside to receive instructions. They have been sought and given. They are to sell. At 730,000, bids here, keys are here. We're on the market. We play for keeps. We sell here today at 730,000. Once at 730, are we done? At 40, welcome, ma'am. Coming in with style with a $10,000 bid and 40. And the bid's here at 45 now. At 745 and 50. At 750,000. At 750,000, bids there now at 51. At 751, the bid. At 55, best response to a small bid's always a big one, ma'am. At 55 now, at 56. At 756, the bid. At 756,000, the bid's there. 756 now. At 756,000, it's a late run. Make it count. Make sure you walk away with the keys. At 756,000 and 60 now. At 760, at 61. At 761, the bid. At 761,000, bids back there now. 761, so are the keys. Was that a bid, sir? Oh, almost took your money at 761,000. Fair enough. Hello, how are you? At 761, bid there, back against you, ma'am. Haven't forgot about you. We're definitely out over here. Thank you very much for your bidding here today at 761,000. If that's all, I'll sell over there at 62. At 762 at 3, at 763 now, at 763, at 763 in the bids here now, 4, 64, 5, 65, at 765, 765, at 765 the bid, at 766 now, at 766, at 67, at 767 now, at 767, please take me to 70, ma'am, it's a bit of a tongue twister at 767, at 767,000, the bid's there, at 8, 68, 9, at 9 now, 770 beckons now at 769,000. Fairly been offered, bid there now, 769. On the market and selling at 769 for the first call at 769,000. All done. Second call at 70 now we've got at 770, at 75 and a great bid at that at 775. Fight fire with fire, give me 5 on top at 775,000. Fairly been offered, bid there now. Opportunity still with you. Are you absolutely certain? Thank you very much for your spirited bidding here today. Looks like you've done the job, sir, at 775,000. We'll just go through the process now. 775 the bid, on the market, selling. If you've come to buy, you must show me right now at 775,000 for the first call. At 776, welcome, sir, and best of luck to you here today. At 776, now at 77 now, at 777, at 777 over there, and 8 at 778. 9 at 779, 80 at 780,000. At 780,000, you fended them all off at 81 now, still fighting. At 781, at 781,000, bid back behind at 2 now at 782. At 782,000, the bid, and 83 now at 783. 85 now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 90 is next. At 789, 90 now. How about 800, sir? At 790,000, the bid's there. I think that was 800 in the car. Get his license number. At 780, at 90 now. At 790, the bid's there. At 91, 92, 3. At 95 on top or 5 on 95? 6. 7, 8, 800,000. There we go at 800,000, even money at that. That's just a round number. Don't let it scare you off. It has it at 801 now. At 801,000, we're back here now at 801. At 801, the bid. I'll give you the same advice. So it's just a round number. Don't let it scare you off. At 801,000, the bid's there. The keys are there. We're selling at 801,000. Fairly been offered now. If you tell me you're out, I'll sell over there at $801,000 the bid now. Once at 801, all done. Twice at 801,000, all done, all finished. Third, final call, $801,000 the bid, all done, all finished, all silent now at 801. We're definitely done there, ma'am. Thank you once more, definitely done over here. So if you tell me you're out, I'll sell. Do I have your absolute best here today?
Yeah, I'm out.
You definitely are. Thank you very much for your spirited bidding here today at 801,000. Bids here, keys are here. You had a fight in your hands, so you fended it all off at 801,000 for the first call, second call, third, final call at 801. All done, all finished, all silent now at 801,000. Absolutely sure, sir. We're selling, selling, selling. Sold! Congratulations and well bid. Please join me in congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today.